There's little doubt the planet is warming. Over the last century, the planet's temperature has risen around 1 degree Fahrenheit. The warmest since the mid-1800s was the 1990s. The hottest years recorded were 1997, 1998, 2001, 2002, and 2003. To help you put this in perspective, I brought an ice cube. This symbolizes the polar caps of the Arctic. Here you go. Would you like to take it? It'll probably melt by the end of this, because that's how hot our planet is. The United Nations panel on climate change projects that the global temperatures will rise 3 to 10 degrees Fahrenheit by the century's end, enough to have polar caps all but melted. If the caps melt, a clear majority of our country's borders and monuments will be under. New York City, San Francisco. So, now we know what some of the causes of global warming are. Here are some of the ways we can stop it. The answer is simpler than you may think. You don't have to go miles away from home to protest or spend masses of money. If you try to follow these few helpful tips, in the end, we can all save this planet. First, all you have to do is plant a tree. This could be easier than it sounds. Join or help a local wildlife group and ask to plant a tree. Trees, when fully grown, will help keep the planet cooler. On the same point, you could protest the demolition of rainforests. This is the same principle as we need trees to cool our planet, and the chopping down to create homes or roads is in fact vice versa what we need to accomplish. Something as simple as walking instead of taking the car will help reduce your carbon emission, which carbon emissions and pollution limit the ozone layer and makes it so that more sun's rays can heat the planet at its core. When you're at home and you're getting a little cold, instead of turning up that thermostat, why don't you just put on an extra pair of clothes? The extra heat produced by our homes also affects the planet. All it is just an extra sweatshirt and you'll be golden. It's possible. Buy your fruit and vegetables from your local supplier and try to avoid imported goods. The more foreign food that we have, the more we will pollute on the means to travel it through country to country. Keeping to the speed limit can also help the environment. The more you speed, the more petrol you are going to use, making the pollution higher. Also, written by A.K. Shrivastava, titled Global Warming, SUVs make about 6 times their own weight in CO2 a year. A small, efficient diesel car covering the same distance not only uses much less fuel, but it makes 2/3 less pollution. Astounding. If possible, use solar energy. After all, it is free and it's a renewable energy source, which is much, much more eco-friendly than fossil fuels, which are non-renewable. Reduce, reuse, and recycle. Only buy what you need. Don't stock the cupboards with things you may or may not use. Reuse whatever you can, like containers and paper, and recycle what you cannot use. It's as simple as that. Finally, turning off unused sources of power, such as televisions and heaters, will help the environment in more ways and save you more money. After all, money is the motivation. If everybody stuck to these rules, we would be doing a great thing by protecting the earth. So please, take into consideration what I have said and try to do your part. After all, it is our generation that will feel the effects.